Leela, this fire grew so quickly and spread so fast that it caught many drivers here on the 118 freeway off guard. Right now you can see it is moving very well, but earlier today it was bumper to bumper traffic. Drivers didn't know where to go because so many of those exits were closed. A woman is recovering from a broken leg this morning after a concert got out of control at the House of Blues in West Hollywood last night. And can you imagine being approached on an empty street like this one? It happened. And when it comes to finding fake badges and uniforms, it's certainly not hard to find. Look at this on this website, especially right now with Halloween. They're selling all kinds of badges, every one that you can think of. So how do you know if the person that's approaching you wearing a uniform or a badge is the real deal? Leela and Emmett, you're right. These drug cartels will do whatever it takes to take that throne, and they'll kill whomever may be standing in their way. So far, close to 50 bodies have been found in Tijuana. That's since the beginning of the week, and the fear is that it's only going to get worse. We're here at the Oak Ridge Mobile Home Park off of the 210 freeway, and look at this place. I mean, complete devastation. 600 mobile homes were once here, and Captain Ruda of the fire department told me that hours ago when this fire started in this area, he told residents, he said, we're going to try our best to save your homes, and he's just devastated that he has to go back to one of those shelters where all these people are, and he has to tell them that their neighborhood looks like this. Walter, this plane crash could have been so much worse. Talk about rattling nerves. This neighborhood happens to be not far from the Compton airport, so people who live here say they hear planes flying overhead all the time. They just never thought they'd see one this close.
Well, I was in the house with my family, and all I hear is a boom, boom. I thought it was a car crash, but I ran out here, and I looked across the way, and I just see a plane in the house.
The tail end of this Cessna 310 is just feet away from Tiana Tipton's front yard. She recalls seeing injured victims just moments after the crash.
I saw two guys sitting on the curb all with their bloody face, and then they brought another one out, and he was on the grass.
It was just before 4 p.m. when the plane went down, the fuselage crashing through one roof and the left wing ripping through another. This lady taken out of her home on a stretcher. The Compton Fire Department says a total of 5 people were treated, including the 2 men inside the plane and 3 on the ground. As crowds gathered, utility crews worked quickly to cut the power from the house.
Crews reacted immediately to spray foam on that fuel to kind of dampen it down to prevent any spark or spread of fire.
According to an FAA spokesperson, the small twin-engine Cessna had left from San Diego and was headed to the Hawthorne Municipal Airport, just 10 miles from this Compton neighborhood.
It was just chaos. They had 2 guys on the line, and they was trying to get some other people out the house.
Lakeisha Campbell, who lives 2 houses down from the wreck, has called this neighborhood home for 5 years, and today her biggest fear came true.
And the planes fly low all the time. It's scary because you hear like the propellers flying like real low over your house.
We're sticking up. I mean, it could have happened to us. It could happen to anybody.
Back here live in Compton, you're looking at the area of homes affected. A total of 25 homes were evacuated because of this crash, and we're told residents won't be allowed back home until later tonight. As for the 2 homes that the plane actually crashed into, both of those homes have been deemed unsafe, and as a result, 7 adults are now without a home tonight. Lynette, not only was the father hit, but the son was too. And residents in this otherwise family-oriented community still can't believe that the shooter was so brazen as to just walk up to these victims and start shooting.
This neighborhood is nothing but little kids. My kids play right there in the street. Everybody comes out here and have fun right here in the street, you know. Everybody taking care of their kids, everybody, you know. And to see this happen is pretty sad.
Wilburn Street in Paramount is filled with families, some who have lived here for more than 30 years. The sound of the early morning gunfire still haunts them, not to mention the bullet holes and broken glass littering the street.
It's scary. It's scary because my daughter has stayed here with my mom, and she was sleeping in the sofa in the living room. And
at the time?
At the time. I mean, what if a bullet would have gone through?
It was just after 1:40 in the morning when detectives say a man approached 37-year-old Ricardo Garcia Sr. and his young son while they were in the front yard of this home.
That Mr. Garcia was sitting in a lawn chair when a male Hispanic approached him from the sidewalk and asked if he remembered him. The suspect then began shooting,
hitting Garcia Sr. several times in the torso, killing him. His son was shot in the leg, but survived. Even though this has not been ruled a gang-related shooting, many neighbors feared going on camera due to possible retaliation. According to those neighbors, the family of 4 had recently moved here from Mexico.
He just came here to just have a life with his family, you know, just like every Mexican person comes over here to do.
Raymond Ortega says he and his neighbor across the street were not tight, but he had just spoken with the 37-year-old victim the day before.
Yeah, they were moving, I think, because I was talking to them earlier, and they told me that they were going to move, but this is something surprising.
A nice guy?
Yeah, he was a nice guy.
The family of 4's move, neighbors say, was just days away. Soon, but not soon enough.
Marco Gonzalez joining us now live with more on the victims and how the family's coping tonight. Marco?
It's a tough day for them. Emmett and Leela, both boys are from the Hollywood Hills. In fact, their home is just a few miles up the road here. But those who live on Beechwood Drive say they first heard the roar of the engine and then the crash.
I just woke up from a dead sleep when I heard the crash.
Heather White then says she ran out of her apartment to find this. A 1996 Acura Integra smashed into a parked U-Haul on Beechwood Drive near Glen Oak.
The guy who's in the passenger seat was still alive, was not in good shape.
She's referring to 23-year-old David Brackett. His identical twin Jesse, who was driving, had died on impact. Police say the twins had been heading northbound on Beechwood Drive, lost control, then smashed into this U-Haul truck. They believe speeding is to blame. Heather recalls trying to keep David, who was in the passenger seat, conscious moments after the crash.
He responded to our voices, and so we kept saying, you know, you're going to be okay, you're going to be okay, they're coming. Can you hear the sirens? They're coming right now. And I think that's why it's so devastating that he didn't make it.
Their DMV pictures, side by side, show just how closely they resembled each other. According to the twins' MySpace pages, David was a student at Cal State Northridge, and Jesse, a student at Los Angeles Valley College, but their family home just minutes up the hill from the accident. Aside from leaving candles and flowers at the crash site, friends are expressing their devastation online. One friend left this message: David, I don't even know what to say. I am in shock. I can't imagine you not being around. I love you now and forever. Another simply wrote, rest in peace. We will always remember you. Always. Allison Gallant, who also heard the early morning crash, says something needs to be done about the excessive speeding that goes on here.
There's a lot of speeding on the street. There aren't, and I don't know if it's a matter of not having enough stop signs or if we need speed bumps, but it's a chronic problem.
And you can see what she was talking about. Look at this narrow road. Cars are whizzing by and not a stop sign in the area. Cars can really move through here. And the boys were told were coming in this direction. They came right here and hit a U-Haul truck to stow glass that marks that spot. The truck has since been towed away. Now, if we come over here, you can see lots of mementos that have been left over the last few hours from friends and family.